Good, happy Wednesday evening, September 30th, 2020. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Wednesday evening, so let's begin. First up, let's begin with your COVID-19 updates. New Hampshire COVID-19 pandemic information, graphs, case data. Let's take a look at that right now. And here is a look at that right now, as you can all see. There are 8,233 number of people in New Hampshire have tested positive for COVID-19. 7,176,111 number of people in the United States who have tested positive. 439 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 738 number of people have been hospitalized with COVID-19 in New Hampshire. And 205,676 number of deaths from COVID-19 in the United States. And let's take a look at this map of New Hampshire where current cases of COVID-19 are. Manchester, 44. And let's take a look at this map of New Hampshire where total cases of COVID-19 are. Manchester, 2067. And now let's take a look at these three charts here. Let's start with the first chart here. New cases each day in New Hampshire in the purple, daily new positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, new hospitalization. In the red are the deaths. And let's take a look at this chart here. Current cases. In the purple, total current COVID-19 cases. And in the orange, current hospitalization. And let's take a look at this chart here. Total cases. In the purple, total positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, total hospitalization. Red, death. In blue, recovered. And let's take a look at this chart here. Age group of cases, female and male of cases, and risk information. And let's take a look at this chart here. Infections, hospitalizations, and deaths. And let's take a look at this chart here. Deaths, percent of New Hampshire population, race/ethnicity of cases, and hospitalizations. And a reminder, your common symptoms: fever, lack of smell, cough, difficult breathing, chills, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. How it spreads, and prevention tips. And be sure to stay with the Riley King Network for the latest of your COVID-19 information. Rain brings some relief, but much more needed to make dent in drought. Environmental officials say several storms needed to replenish the groundwater. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Ray Brewer.
Honestly, I'm not really sure why I'm calling this. Just, I can't do this by myself anymore.
Whatever you're going through, VA is here to help. Visit veteranscrisisline.net to learn more.
It's mud season again in parts of New Hampshire after more than 2 inches of rain fell in parts of the state. Still, when it comes to impacting the drought, the storm will have minimal impact, according to New Hampshire DES.
We're 8 to 11 inches short in total rainfall at this point.
Especially when it comes to recharging the groundwater.
In this drought, a lot of the soil areas are baked hard, and a lot of this will run off. into surface water.
While those surface waters have been abnormally low and the rain will help there, Tom O'Donovan is most concerned about the groundwater levels and says more storms are needed before they begin to recharge.
Soil needs to restore itself, and then it'll begin to percolate down into the ground.
Currently, there are some types of water usage restrictions for more than 400,000 Granite Staters. For that to change, we need repeated storms, preferably kicked off by a good soaking.
That's how the drought in 2016 started to end. We got a good tropical storm that came in with about 2 days of pretty steady rain that gave us 2 to 3 inches.
One positive effect is that the rain has reduced the fire danger, at least for the moment, and more rain is expected on Friday.
Unfortunately, there's no tropical storms lined up just yet headed our way, but we'll keep looking for them.
The state's drought map is due out tomorrow, and despite the rain, O'Donovan expects that it will show that more of the state is experiencing an extreme drought. Reporting live in Manchester, Ray Brewer, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Strong winds knock out power for thousands in New Hampshire. Winds come as rainy system pushes through. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Honestly, I'm not really sure why I'm calling this. Just, I can't do this by myself anymore.
Whatever you're going through, VA is here to help. Visit veteranscrisisline.net to learn more.
Right now, crews are cleaning up trees and power lines brought down by this morning's rain and wind. This was the scene in Bedford as the weather cleared up there. At one point, more than 10,000 people were without power. Sunapee Town Hall is closed because of an outage there, and Winchester School is doing remote learning today because there's no power at the school.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Trick or treating will be allowed in Manchester with precautions. Event scheduled from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Halloween night. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Honestly, I'm not really sure why I'm calling this. Just, I can't do this by myself anymore.
Whatever you're going through, VA is here to help. Visit veteranscrisisline.net to learn more.
New Hampshire's largest city will allow trick-or-treating this year, but they are asking people to take precautions because of COVID-19. This year's official trick-or-treat hours will be from 6 to 8 p.m. on Saturday, October 31st, Halloween. Safety officials suggest avoiding confined spaces or large gatherings. They say people should try to stay at least 6 feet away when hanging out and accepting treats, and wear a mask and clean your hands frequently. They also say anyone who is sick or not feeling well should stay home.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. After debate, New Hampshire analyst slam Trefristy say American people lost. Biden, Trump camps blast opposing candidates' performance. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Honestly, I'm not really sure why I'm calling this. Just, I can't do this by myself anymore.
Whatever you're going through, VA is here to help. Visit veteranscrisisline.net to learn more.
You are president screwing things up.
A clash in Cleveland.
Everything he's saying so far is simply a lie.
President Trump and Joe Biden stepping on the debate stage for the first time, sparring over COVID-19.
The president has no plan. He hasn't laid out anything. We got the gowns, we got the masks, we made the ventilators.
highlighting their contrasting stance on issues including race relations.
This is a president who has used everything as a dog whistle to try to generate racist hatred, racist division. You call them super predators, African Americans, super predators, and they've never forgotten it. They've never forgotten it, Joe.
And whether to fill the Supreme Court seat held by the late Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
We have the Senate, we have the White House, and we have a phenomenal nominee, respected by all. We should wait and see what the outcome of this election is, because that's the only way the American people get to express their view.
Both sides hoping to energize their supporters and sway undecided voters.
There has never been an administration or president who has done more than I've done. Under this president, we've become weaker, sicker, poorer, more divided, and more violent.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And let's take a look at your U.S. stock market and see how your U.S. stock market closed for this Wednesday evening. And here's a look at that U.S. stock market for all of you for this Wednesday evening. Your Dow Jones Industrial Average closed in the green, went up. Your Nasdaq closed in the green, went up. S&P 500 closed in the green, went up. Gold closed in the green, went down. Oil closed in the green, went up. US 10-year closed flat. Euro/USD closed in the green, went up. And VIX closed in the green and went up. Dow rebounds more than 300 points on stimulus hope to end first losing month since March. U.S. stocks climbed in volatile trading on Wednesday amid rising hopes for further coronavirus settlements, but major averages still posted their first down month since March. Fallout and the spin from the first fiery debate from last night. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News. Good morning, America.
Turn down to our chief White House correspondent, John Carl. Good morning, John. So what are you hearing from the Trump and Biden teams about last night?
Robin, the Trump campaign is trying to say that the president put in a strong performance. The RNC went so far as to say, quote, President Trump made a confident, commanding, and compelling case for his reelection. But Robin, nobody really believes that. I heard from Republicans after the debate, some during the debate, frankly exasperated by the president's performance, the bullying, the rudeness, the incessant interrupting of the moderator, the utter inability to make a case for what he would do in the next 4 years if he was reelected as president. Democrats weren't particularly thrilled with Joe Biden's performance, but they believe the contrast was crystal clear, that there was only one person on that stage who appeared plausibly presidential, and it was not the person who flew on Air Force One last night. They also, by the way, point out, the Biden campaign, that they had their single best hour of fundraising last night between the hours of 10 p.m. and 11 p.m.
John, I want to ask you about the moment from the debate that we also saw in Mary's report, when the President of the United States of America is asked if he's willing to condemn white supremacists, John.
Robin, that was the low point of the debate. I believe that may have been the low point of the entire campaign. The president was asked to condemn white supremacists generally, and then he was asked to specifically condemn a group called the Proud Boys. Now, the Proud Boys are a racist group known to provoke violence on the streets. They call themselves white chauvinists. This is an easy thing to do. He not only did not condemn them, he didn't even criticize them. And unfortunately, Robin, it's really part of a problem, part of a pattern that we've seen with Donald Trump. We've seen for years. We've seen for over a decade. He has never apologized for his role as the central figure in the birther movement, a frankly racist movement. And when David Duke endorsed his campaign back in 2016, he took days to condemn it and only did it after asked a question by a reporter, and he seemed annoyed by the question. He said, he endorsed me? Okay, I disavow. Okay, I disavow. Hardly heartfelt. And then, of course, what we saw play out after Charlottesville, when the world saw white supremacists marching with tiki torches saying Jews will not support us, and he said there were very fine people on both sides.
And that's the moment when Joe Biden said he decided he was going to run for president. Well, hey there, GMA fan.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And thank you for joining us for this Wednesday evening edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Have a great rest of your Wednesday evening. I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Good night and goodbye, everyone.